Shut up and sit down.
Welcome everybody to what is the 5th episode of this amazing podcast. Today we're the 15th of February, which means it's one day after Valentine's Day, which means if you're smart enough to realize that means most of the Valentine's Day chocolate is on sale today, and that's probably the best time to buy yourself some chocolate at a lower rebate price. All jokes aside, guys, today's topic is going to be a bit of a more serious one, hence the cup choice that says naughty. I feel like some people might get offended, some people might get triggered, but hey, that's what I do best, get some people rattled up. We're going to be talking about originality. And what I mean by originality, we're going to be talking more about people who are content with fitting in, and less people are happy with being who they actually are. Sorry about that. Before I actually go into the topic, I want to make one thing clear. Podcast is sponsored by Keep It Lean Apparel. I'm going to put the link in the description. If you guys are looking to stand out in the gym or even outside the gym, if you don't want to look like every other bozo, if you want to look special, if you want to look fly, and if you want to be in the best quality material, damn, I sound like a salesman, go to keepitleanapparel.com, get yourself a pair of t-shirts, sweaters, whatever you may like. Also on Instagram at Keep It Lean Apparel. It is a Montreal-based company. Material quality is relatively higher than the average thing you're going to find. And to your surprise, 99% of the other people won't be wearing the same thing, so you will actually stand out, which is what we're aiming for, especially with today's podcast topic. So let's get right into it, guys. What I mean by originality. And I just want to make a quick comparison before actually dwelling into the conversation. Let's take Nike and Adidas, right? For those of you who don't know, Adidas started off with the slogan, "Be original." And I'm not doing any favoritism, it's just it relates more to my conversation and to the topic of choice. But the fact remains that Nike does have more sales than Adidas, which makes my point to diminish more. Unless when I add to that Adidas has a higher rate of customer satisfaction than Nike ever had. So what I mean by all of this is where Nike produces for the masses, and for sure sells more than Adidas will. Adidas produces material that's more original and keeps their clients more satisfied. And if that's not the purpose of selling a material good, then I don't know what is. Now, to bring that and correlate that to the topic of conversation, I feel like a lot of people are doing things more and more to appeal to the masses, and they're taking away from their actual selves. You know, it's become a day and age where originality is a thing of scarcity, and what that means is less and less people are doing things that are actually special to them, and they're doing things that everybody else is doing just to get that popular opinion and just to get that likeliness from everybody around social media. What I mean by this, and I'll give a quick example, and it's a repetitive one, and I feel like it's constantly been the same, but if none of you have ever realized, if you go on the Explore page on social media, on Instagram particularly, and if you search whatever, the hashtag fitness or hashtag training, I guarantee you 10 of the first videos are going to contain the same premise. They're going to be the same female, well, the different account, but same looking female, wearing the same leggings, same sports bra, drinking out of the same shaker container, doing the same generic leg-based workout. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. I am more than happy that the world is growing into a place where more and more people are occupied by fitness. But what that makes me question is where is the originality? Where are the people, where are the women in this case, that aren't wearing that same generic legging, that aren't in their sports bra to appeal to the masses, that aren't doing the booty workouts to appeal to the 99% of the people, where there is a less and less people who are doing things that don't conform with the norm because there's less and less attention given to them. And it's a harsh reality, and it's a sad one, because I feel like it kills a lot of people's ambition, because it limits your potential of growth. It limits who you can actually be when you start thinking, well, shit, if I do this, I won't sell because this is not what is selling, which becomes harsh. And I'll remove the example. I'll talk about something different. And it might be biased because I did mention the clothing that I'm wearing. But if you walk into a gym on a day-to-day, you're more likely to see people wearing the same t-shirt with the same logo on it. Just the initials changed. It's people take a template that is working and put their name on it and try to sell it as theirs. And if you're like me, and where this conversation is coming from and where the issue is coming from, because I know there are other people like me, because this topic was given to me by more than just one person. I had a few people ask me, hey man, make a video about people who copy others. And it sucks to see that you can take Model A, which is already working, and try to make your own version of Model A by just putting your name on it and changing absolutely nothing on it, which just goes to show how powerful sales tactics and social sales media is, because 99% of you buy these social media advertisements that they all look the same. Every clothing item, every exercise band, every legging, every this and that that's being sold to you is a copy paste of something someone else has already made, but they've just changed the name on it and people still buy it. The consumer market is stuck in a vicious cycle, and it just becomes scary. And why is this conversation important to me? Is because it becomes scary that people forget about their own ideas. People forget about their own goals. People forget about things that they like truly because they feel like it won't sell. And it's crazy. It's crazy because if you look at it in any other context, and I'll relate it back to the conversation that I had on my last podcast, look at Tesla. Look at how Tesla changed the innovation of cars. Yes, the technology was different, but there was an original factor incorporated inside. They offered, I remember the first time Tesla's model came out, people ridiculed it. People thought it was a joke. And still today, most American countries do think of it as a joke. But it is ever growing. And that's why I feel you need to be in sync with your originality. You need to be okay with being who you are. Because who you are is in my opinion, miles better than what the masses try to tell you you need to be. Just because image A is selling today doesn't mean that you need to change your entire mindset. You need to give up on everything you've ever believed in to conform to that thing. And it's more than worrisome in the factor that a lot of people change their careers. I know a lot of people that have stopped their studies because they were like, I won't find a career in today's market, which alone is scary because we are giving up on our own dreams because of the fear that the social basis will not accept who we are. A lot of people are giving up their careers. A lot of people are giving up their ways of living and the things they believe in because it's not conforming with what the masses want them to believe in. And 10 minutes into this conversation, I feel it's more than enough to just solidify and say that the more we conform with what society wants us to conform with, the more we destroy our originality, which is what brought us here today. I read a quote the other day that said, "You were lucky enough to win the lottery of being born." And now I won't go into the science of it, and I won't go into the probabilities of you being the cell that was born. But I'll make it simple and say there's over 6 billion people in this world, and you're one of them. And now if you want to be like the other 5 point something billion that exists, that's fine. But the reality is the people that stand out, the people that make an actual difference, are the people that want to be original, are the people that want to make their own footprint. Just because, okay, yeah, you're right. Maybe if you do the same steps that 9 other people before you are doing, you will achieve a certain level of success. But the ceiling for that success is so much lower than the ceiling of your own original success can be. And what I mean by that is if you're conforming into the box that was already created, if you're placing yourself in a box that already exists, that a bunch of other people are already inside, that box is already crowded. That's like saying you're a small fish in a big pond. How about just be your own giant fish in your own water? Be you. Well, that didn't make any sense whatsoever. But to the people that understood, the idea is just, you don't have to be just another number in a group of numbers. Your ceiling of growth will be so much higher if you focus on your own idea. Maybe it won't work today. Maybe you won't get the most amount of likes in the first week, in the second month, in the third month, in your first year. But since when did the value of your own originality depend on the amount of attention you get on social media? Since when did it become a thing where, just because I don't have 1,000 followers on Instagram, maybe I should change my idea? So many people have started something and then stopped it because they didn't get the attention they thought they were going to get, which is crazy. Because we live in a time where the attention revolves around the same premise, the same concept. And by you accepting the fact that your original idea is no longer important, you just grow the circle. You make the circle ever more active, and you make it ever more okay for other people coming after you to be like, hey, well, he started it and he never continued it neither. We need more innovators. All this to say, we need more people to put the foot down and be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to keep doing me. And yeah, that's fine. It didn't work today. And you know what? I've given my 110%. And I keep giving my 110%. But you need to understand that eventually, if you believe in yourself and in your idea, the growth and the result that you will have at the end of the day is so much bigger than you copying someone else's idea and achieving that first level, that minor level of success. Because what gratitude do you give yourself when you're doing something that 10 other people have already done and you're only achieving the same result those other 10 people have already done? All this to say, guys, and girls, of course, all this to say that there is a greater feeling of accomplishment that you get when you stick to your beliefs, when you do the things that you personally believe in, and you create your own ideas. Now, if your ideas are a precursor to something someone else has already made, by all means, work on it. But don't take, just the most random example, don't take a box of muffins that already exist, that someone else has already made, with the same ingredients and the same nutritional value, take the label off of it, stamp your label on it, and sell it. That's not how life works. Sadly enough, it is how social media works, and it is how social sales work. And a lot of people buy into it. But to the people that are still trying to build their own brand, and to the people trying not to fit into the masses, not to become just some basic culture that already exists, to those who are original, and to quote Adidas again, those who believe in being original, just keep doing you, because at the end of the day, the satisfaction your client will get, equally to the satisfaction that you will have, is exponentially bigger than that of just doing what everybody else was already doing, because you offer a different amount of value to it. You offer something nicer. You offer a different amount of satisfaction. I know it's been 13 minutes too long of talking about the same topic, so I'm going to step away from it a little bit. Let's talk about something different. As promised on the podcast last week, I'm going to offer you guys some wacky news every week. So today I have 4 articles lined up. So the first one is a bunch of monkeys escaped from a zoo in London during a rainstorm. So I just wanted to say that the funniest part of this is the BBC reporter said they're intelligent primates and know they're not supposed to be living in an enclosure, so they got out by themselves. So if these primates are so intelligent in the first place, then why the hell did you keep them in an enclosure? This is my question. Very basic question. Very simple question. I'm going to go on to the next topic. So this one's a little bit funnier. It happened in Columbus, Ohio. So what happened is a Columbus dispatch of officers reported to the crime scene. There's a drunken man laying down, passed out, proceeded to revive him, mouth-to-mouth CPR. 5 seconds later, the man got up, ran into the dispatch car, stole the police officer car, and then fled. The chase went on for another 10 minutes, blah, blah, blah. Finally, they caught him. But all that to say, once again, Americans, you guys are a notch above, and you guys are a lot more special than Canadians will ever be, because you probably will never hear of that somewhere in Canada. Passing on to the third topic, let's bring some light into some people's day. Just take a look at this individual's face. First and foremost, I want everyone to take a hard look at what this young man looks like. I say young because he is a 19-year-old. This is 19-year-old Daniel James Bennett. And before I even get into it, I want you guys to try and take a wild guess as to what crime Mr. Daniel James Bennett committed. I'll give you guys 5 seconds. Think about it. Try to ponder through. Yeah, for those of you who have no idea what he did, he was caught molesting a horse. Young 19-year-old Daniel James Bennett was having fun with a horse, which is only fitting. It is Valentine's Day. Well, it was Valentine's Day. So maybe we should let the man do whatever so pleases. And to pass on into the fourth article, which I found the funniest one. Once again, I just want all of you to take a hard look at this individual's face. Take a nice look, think about it, give yourselves 5 to 10 seconds. Try to figure out what this Texas native could have probably been doing to get in trouble. No idea? Okay. 26-year-old Dovey Nickel was arrested on counts of masturbating in a public place, which doesn't seem so bad. It is public nudity. To make matters worse is officers claim that even after being arrested and put into the cop car, she did not stop pleasuring herself. So I don't know what kind of drugs she was on. I don't know what the purpose was. I don't know what the hell was going on with this girl, but props to her for being able to hold true, running it out and finishing what she had started. She's a finisher, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think that's a crime. I think she should be given a gold medal and she should be released of custody, because no woman is crazy enough to start it and finish it while being in a cop car in handcuffs. So I don't know how that works. I don't know how she was in handcuffs and she was still doing what she was doing. But congratulations, Dovey. You win the award this week for Wacky's News. Based on my opinion, if anyone thinks that's not wacky enough, feel free to drop a comment. Tell me what other things you've read over the past week that might have been wacky. I don't mind bringing it up on my conversation, nor on my podcast. Guys, like I said, I wanted to make this one nice and short. No need to dwell into it any longer. If anyone has any issues with what I have said, what I might have said, feel free to comment. It's only a conversation. We're only here to talk. But if it sparked anyone's interest to believe in themselves, if it sparked anyone's interest to hold true to themselves, to do something that they thought they shouldn't be doing because it's not accepted, and that sounds a lot worse than it actually is. What I meant to say by that is, if there is anyone out there who was going to give up on an idea that they had because it's not popular or because people wouldn't necessarily buy it, all I suggest, and this comes from the bottom of my heart, is don't give up. Do you, stay original, focus on what you're doing, and the results will come. Whether they come a month later, whether they come 6 months later, whether they come a year later, it is bitter, it is difficult to accept, but it is what it is. Stick true to yourself. Don't give in to what society wants. Don't give in to what the social media masses want you to do. Break the norm, break the circle, be original, be you. Thank you very much, guys, for listening. It's been a great episode. Episode 5 in the books. Have yourselves a wonderful day.